Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the streets of Detroit for round number 10 of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge here in Season 14 as we visit the Belle circuit for only the third time in this championship's long history. It is myself, Ewan, and Jed Parfitt, along with me for the bumps of Belle. Not as many drivers have turned out for this race as some others, as you might expect. We've got 23 currently in the field, but that is going to feel like a lot to be getting on with around a circuit like this.
Yeah, I'd probably suggest, to be honest with you, sir, that you don't really want any more than that in a multi-class race around Belle. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. And I think, I'm hoping, should we say, not too chaotic.
Well, let's see about that. Indeed. We've got just under 2 minutes to go in qualifying. We'll go through the standings in the in the gridding process, which takes about 5 minutes or so. Adolfo Perez is making his way up towards the line at the moment, and he is going to he's not going to finish that lap. He smacked the wall. He was finishing a lap, I should say, and he is in fourth place. Pat Pelshak going quicker again. Purple, third sector for him. He's not going to go any quicker than himself, although that would still just about have been good enough for pole if he was doing that lap for the first time, I believe. Yes, it would have been by just 25 thousandths of a second ahead of Nathan Dowd. Just 4 GTPs this time around as well, although Dominic Durnenberg hasn't qualified. He's down at the back. Maybe he will join the GTPs up towards the front in his Ferrari, hopefully so. But what does that make it? 10 prototypes and 12 GTs. As you say, I think that is plenty to be getting on with. And even after that, it's still going to feel very, very busy. And getting through even a small amount of traffic here is going to be a bit of a palaver.
Oh, dude, there are wide parts where we're at now, right, on that run down there where Pat Pelshak was. But then everything else just seems... Not here, no, definitely not. No, don't want to be doing it at this point. It will just all go wrong. And I think some of these guys are going to learn that rather quickly. You know, you've got to look in the wallway. From 11 to 12, you could do it. Round 12 into 13, a little bit tight. You can start getting the run now if you're able to. Up through turn 14 into 1. But... yeah, I think we've really got to look at traffic management for this race. If whoever manages it the best should come out and win.
Yeah, that will. It's often the case, but especially here. It's a shame that this is off the IMSA calendar these days. I've got to say they don't come. They do go to Detroit, but not here anymore, which is a real shame. They've replaced it with a rectangle. I would describe it as. It's a bit of a rubbish circuit they've replaced it with. This is fantastic though. As much as we'll have our fears, and I'm sure many of these drivers will, about the traffic management around this circuit. It's still going to be a wonderful race, and I'm very glad that it is on the calendar. Still to come this season, by the way. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be visiting COTA. That's on the 17th of February. Then it will be Sebring, then Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, followed by Road Atlanta, where we will end our season in the end of March, I believe, the start of April even, the 7th of April, and all of those races will be live on the JP YouTube channel, as always, from the same time, just before 2:30 in the morning in the UK. That doesn't mean much to people who are watching this at the moment. Just before 9:30 in the evening Eastern time, that is. It's a classic qualifying session with an hour-long race at the end of it as well. It looks like Pat Pelshak did actually just go quicker there. I thought he was just trundling around with some late qualifying practice there, but no, actually he was setting a lap time. 14.8 gets him another pole position here in this remarkable season that he's having. I'm not sure what number pole that is, but it's certainly up there. He's had loads this season, and it looks like this is another one to add to the list.
Yeah, he's... you could almost put your house on him winning the championship, I think. Almost. Bar any major dramas.
Not willing to do that just yet, but
You
almost.
reckon?
Weird. Well, it's because the house is quite a lot.
But it's not if you don't own it, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it's your parents, it ain't gonna really matter, is it?
Yeah, but I'm not willing to just get other people's houses for them. That's a bit rude.
Mum, Dad, we got to move out. Why? Because I lost it in a bet. Oh, there we go.
I'm betting on Pat Pelshak. He let me down. No, mainly because it's 32 points, and over the course of one race you can earn 25. So I'm not entirely willing to say this is completely gone yet. Nathan Dowd and Pat Pelchat both utilising a drop week of 0 at the moment. That will change. It will get actually closer than 32 points because Pelchat's current drop week is a bit stronger. Anyway, we'll get into that in a moment when we go through the championship standings. Let's go through the grid first with Pat Pelchat and Nathan Dowd on the front row together. Robert Cast, long-time LMP2 driver, is third ahead of Adolfo Perez. Trevor Vavrosky and Dominic Dunenberg join in late, and they will start from the back of the GTPs. Carter Kundiger's taken pole in LMP2 ahead of Robert Tinsey. Then it's Brandon Walker and Andrew Parker on row 2 ahead of Caden Richardson. Only 5 LMP2s tonight. Hopefully we'll see a couple more next or in a fortnight's time. Bradley Haley is in 12th place. He's taken GTD pole ahead of Ross Booth with Ryan Wasilewski and Nicholas Davis rounding out that section of the field. They've just beaten Joshua Wolf, who's the GTD AM pole sitter. Antoine Dachas is in 17th overall, second in class ahead of Dale Green, all Canadian row 9. Then Shane Hunter and Chris Sherburn rounding out the top 20. Tom Hammond and Ed Eisenring on row 11 ahead of Mark Kudrowski and Miguel D'Souza, who hasn't qualified this time round for the GTD AMS. Let's go through the championship standings while we're waiting, because the gridding process is going to be going on for another 3.5 minutes yet. So we will go through the standings, starting with GTD AM, because it is the most interesting. Joshua Wolf and Ed Eisenring are tied on points at the moment on 158. In this race, they've qualified, though, quite a few positions apart. Joshua Wolf 6 positions ahead at the moment. Dale Green is a little bit further behind, although he's tied with Mark Kudrowski. Parker Dime is 5th. He's not here today, though. Chris Sherburn just outside that top 5. Morgan Smith, the last driver to have more than 100 points. Miguel D'Souza starting from the back today. He's 8th in the standings ahead of Austin Dilch, Tom Hammond, and there you can see the rest in the field. We've had a lot of GTD AMs this season. That is fair to say. GTD is currently being led by Ross Booth, 31 points ahead of Nicholas Davis. He's got a big gap over Alex Simonik as well. Bradley Haley, Young Park and Christopher Pies are all very close to him, though, with Dominic Zioli quite a few points further back, and then those who have not been at very many rounds this season. LMP2 is currently being led by Carter Kundiger because of Robert Cast's bizarre decision to move to the GTPs from a very commanding championship lead here. He's now got 35 points, Kundiger, over Robert Tinsey, with Cast still there in third. Caden Richardson's up there in fourth place ahead of Andrew Parker, who's 5th. Then it's Morris, the last driver, with over 100 points. Then Kevin Binkley starts off the drivers who haven't been at very many rounds so far this season. And finally, the GTPs, who, as we were talking about earlier, are only separated by 32 points. Going to get closer once the second drop week is applied, for which, by the way, none of these standings have a second drop week applied. Adolfo Perez is third ahead of Dominic Dunenberg by only 2 points. Billy Smith rounds out the top 5, although he's not here today. Ryan Wasilewski used to be a GTP driver. He is 6th still in the standings. We don't believe he is anymore. He's in a GT3 car today, and those below him haven't been at very many rounds at all. Though they do include Max Muir, who won at Watkins Glen, for example, and they include some pretty strong drivers. Just under 2 minutes to go in qualifying, in gridding, I should say. So I'll just tell you about the point system as well, or the team's points, I should say, not the point system. That would take us more than 2 minutes. Composite Performance Platinum are leading the way in the team's points, ahead of Composite Performance Titanium by 3.2 points. Sector 5 Racing are exactly 7 points behind. So the current championship leaders, if you want the names of the drivers, Ryan Wasilewski, Robert Cast of the GTPs, Carter Kundiger is in LMP2 and Nicholas Davis is in GTD. Those 4 drivers have combined to make Composite Performance Platinum, and they are beating the Composite Performance Titanium team. And they're doing it, Composite Performance have been around the block as far as this championship is concerned. They know exactly what they're doing because they've got 4 different drivers in 3 different classes. You don't want your drivers, your teammates, competing for the same points in the team's standings. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work very well either if you do that. Ideally, you want 3 of your drivers in 3 different classes, so ideally you can win all 3 on one day and earn loads of points. Obviously, that doesn't happen every time, but that's the idea, and they know how to do it in this series. That is partly why they're on the top, although other teams towards the front have done that. In fact, the top 3 teams all have at least 3 drivers who are in 3 different classes. It's a very interesting system, and they clearly know how to make it work.
Yeah, they definitely do. I was reading an announcement. Sorry, I was checking up on something because I'm sure I read somewhere that the team points, they were looking to do a different proposal. Did you see this?
I was reading Dale Green in Discord earlier on. He actually posted it after last time's race, I think, actually. He said because we have to go through such an awkward thing of explaining it every time, and the fact it doesn't go on the graphics, maybe it's time to have a look at simplifying the system. Do the either multiply the points by 10 so that we would always sort of, because we always end up with one decimal place. If you multiply it by 10, you get rid of the decimal place, although we would end up with huge numbers. You get like 1,000 points for one race, which would be a bit odd, but that's one way of doing it. Or he just says simplify it entirely. That's just a proposal from him. It didn't get much support, to be honest. I don't think anyone even reacted to it, but he's just thrown it out there.
Yeah, he's put it out there, makes it a little bit easier. We might be able to show the team points. That would be ideal. Because, as I say, the timing software doesn't like decimals.
Good to know he's listening, though, and wants to find a solution for this slight problem. It's been working this way for quite a while, so I can't see it changing. I actually find it quite an interesting system as well, to be honest with you. Although we're going to have a right headache at Road Atlanta. So never mind. We'll cross that bridge when we get to April. Because that is a long way away at the moment. Still 5 rounds to go in the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge, and still all 4 championships very much up for grabs. GTD Am especially is going to be one to really focus on here tonight. That championship is getting very interesting indeed. The prototype start is set to get underway. Another hour of racing in the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge for the 3rd time. We're set to see the green flag fly here in Detroit, and Pat Parfitt gets off to a start almost before he can see the starters stand. He's underway and in the lead, ahead of Dowd and Cast, who go side by side. That's Dowd in the Acura, who holds on for Robert Cast, and then Adolfo Perez in the LMP2s. Meanwhile, Carter Cunninger's off to a good start ahead of Robert Tinsey, along with the flashing lights of Walker, who's alongside Andrew Parker on the back straight there. Meanwhile, green flag flies a bit earlier for the GTs, and it's Bradley Haley who takes them through single file through the opening chicane in the GT class. They'll all get very close to each other and have a look at diving each other maybe in towards the 3rd corner on the circuit. Meanwhile, Cast has gone round up front here, and he's going to try and get going again before the GTs get to him. He looks like he's damaged, though. He was running 3rd place.
Yeah, we'll have a look back and see what Robert Cast got himself up to. He was already sliding, unfortunately. He did look a little bit loose going through that corner, and then the back end's just going to go round, and he's unfortunately gone in.
Oh, my goodness. That was not a good rejoin, although I'm not entirely sure he had complete control over his car at that stage. Oh, and he's lost his rear wing since. Where's that come off?
I think he might have been trying to reverse and get the car back on, and unfortunately he's bonked it against the wall there. So unfortunately for Robert Cass, not good. Caden Richardson, another one out of LMP. We'll have none left.
Straight on down at turn 11. He must have locked up. I suppose just locked up over the bumps. We'll find out here. There you go. Exactly what's happened. Oh, he's just got in the wall. He'll be okay. But he's down to last, I'm afraid, in LMP2. But I know you want the Peugeot in the system, James. There's your Peugeot.
I love the Peugeot. I think we should have the 9X8.
Well,
however, but they've stuck a wing on it now, and they made it look. That's true, yeah, they made it look a really little bit awkward.
Hold it.
Oh, Bobrovsky. LMPs.
Yeah, where's he gone off?
I don't know. GTPs and LMPs are dropping like flies. At the moment, they've spread themselves out all across the map. I do love the livery for Trevor Bobrovsky, I'm not going to lie. Oh, he's just gone straight on. Yeah. You ain't doing that, mate. Keep going.
3-point turn.
Yeah, you're not going to get that back. But, Cass is trying to make his way back through. However, with no rear wing on the car. And he's trying to get through on the LMP2s for the first run through. But yeah, a little bit dramatic there. Bobrovsky's jumped straight back to pit lane. So whatever he did, it's terminal. And unfortunately, he will not be carrying on currently at the moment. But everybody else is still up and running. You can see the gaps starting to appear in LMPs and GTPs already. And this is the closest. I'm not going to really call it a battle because, it might be a battle. Now Cass ain't got a wing on, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. The GTD AMs have been very interesting so far, because Joshua Wolf got off to a decent start in the lead. He took pole, of course, and now he's been overtaken immediately by Antoine Dachas there in the Porsche. So this is a very interesting train in GT. I suspect these GTs, and I always have done, that they really fit this circuit a lot better, actually, than the prototypes that really do struggle around here, especially with the bumps. But these cars are able to sustain it a little bit more, able to get used to the hustle and bustle of a street circuit like this one, and I think they're going to provide the racing and the action particularly for us tonight. The battle in the lead for the GTD AMs is going on with pretty much the entire field, and there's one for second place in GTD as well itself. Look how close they get to the walls through all of these corners. It's so exciting to watch, and they're not even into the traffic yet either. These prototypes are still not there.
They're not. There's going to be a little bit of a time before they get there, and obviously we've lost quite a few. But yeah, Some of them dropped down. Vavrovsky's out. Dorenberg didn't take to the start. Richardson's down the back. Cass is trying to make his way up past Carter Cunningham after crashing into his GTP in the wall. They're the only ones who have dramas. The GTDs have not had any dramas at this moment in time. As you say, Joshua Wolf has up one. The cash, well, that's obviously with the people dropping out, so that's not really a justifiable place gain, to be blatantly honest. But I think if Ed Isering can start getting his way through, he's got Chris Sherborne, Dale Green in front of him, Miguel de Sosa, Hunter, then he's going to get into Wolf. I think you are right. Out of all the battles, I do believe the GTD AM1 is probably the most competitive. And I think this is the one that when it comes into the last round, we will be sitting here still scratching our heads on, because I think Ed Isering and Josh Wolf have been literally matchy all season.
They certainly have. Joshua Wolf has been at every round so far this season, by the way, which means he is dropping points.
Oh, Caden Richardson.
In the drop weeks. Richardson is back to
in
pit lane, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
He was already back to 5th in the LMP2s, which is last here tonight. Unfortunately, Dunnenberg and Pavlovsky, by the way, are already out of the race. Good to see Cast is still going, even though he's got no rear wing. He's up to 4th place overall. Now, we'll try and find out what happened to Richardson, but he seems to have disappeared from thin air a little bit.
He entered pit lane, entered into the pits, and never returned.
May have just called it a day then, I suppose.
It's possible. Possible, yeah.
That's a shame for him. As we continue on with only 21 already here, so lots of the prototypes are falling by the wayside. Battle for second is the one that's coming to now. Josh Wolf is not quite as quick as Tassas up front here, and that is becoming a problem for everybody else. What does the likes of Shane Hunter do about this? Does he trust in the McLaren, sit behind, or not? Down on the brakes, bouncing over the curb. Wolf nearly bouncing himself into the outside wall, but he's done his homework, done his practice. And look how tight it is through here in the big Mustang. Just feel like you're driving a limo a little bit through this section on board with this car. Now down to first. Get it turned right around to the right-hand side. Now barely getting up into 4th gear here on the run, short run, up to the penultimate corner. And the final turn, which is really nice medium speed committed corner. And get out onto the front straight as well. The thing I like about this circuit actually is that while it is also a street circuit and provides the challenge of that, there's also high-speed corners like these ones, 1 and 2, and also big overtaking chances. The braking zone at the end of this straight here is a prime opportunity.
Yeah, this is the weirdest thing. We've got Pelchat coming through traffic. I don't think this is going to be a very long-lasting run because he hasn't got that many go through, and he should make it through. Fairly straightforward. Take your time, Pat. You've got all the time in the world, mate. You're literally 2.2 seconds ahead. Dowd's going to got to try and wriggle his way through. Pelchat's gone. Blimey, that was close. Up through the right-hander. And again, he's going to wiggle his way through. And Nathan Dowd's doing the same thing. Rodolfo Perez is doing the same thing. And Robert Cass is nearly onto the back end of this one. I am surprised, oddly enough, I really am surprised that the Mustang is working. Just because of the makeup of it.
Yeah, but well, on the one hand, yes, but also I think the makeup of it is making it more settled over the bumps, perhaps. You know, because it's so heavy and sort of immovable, means that it's a bit more settled when it goes over the bumps.
Yeah, you. To be honest with you, you could be right, mate. Because at the end of the day, I think he's done well, and it's Bradley Haley in the lead in the Mustang, you know, and we've nearly got Shane Hunter leading the AM. So maybe you are right. Maybe because of the heavy nature of the car, it does well. But it really, in hindsight, shouldn't. You know what I mean? Because it's turning circles like bus.
Yeah. Although long wheelbase, slow speed corners might help as well. I don't know. But I'm just floating things out there. I don't really know about any of those, whether any of that's true. But just thought I'd float it out there anyway. Here is Andrew Parker down in LMP2. He's allowed Brandon Walker past him because of this. Instead of nosediving the front on the turn 3 barrier, he decided to go down the escape road and. Well, he loses a lot of time there. He's now down a good 10 seconds behind Brandon Walker.
Yeah, but at least on the upside, he still running. You know what I mean? Unlike Richardson, Bobrovsky, well, they're the only two Dorimo never took to the start who are not running. But yeah, it could have been worse for him there. If you tried to make the corner and slam the brakes on, he would have hit the wall directly nose first. So Ross Booth in third at the moment in the GTD Pros. Is there really anything we can say about Ross this season, apart from the fact he's just done an outstanding job, hasn't he?
Yep, he's done a very good job indeed. His worst result so far is 6th place, and his second worst is 4th, so he's going to be losing lots of points from drop weeks, but that just tells you he's done a very, very good season. He was celebrating massively after Montreal, by the way, where he took yet another victory this season, although it was his first victory for quite some time at the time. He was floating the idea that maybe it was the first time ever in his history of this series that a Canadian had won all 4 classes, because it is true. Pat Pelchat won in GTP and overall. Mo Islam, who good evening to, by the way, he's in YouTube chat tonight, says he's sad to be missing out on this race. He won in LMP2, can't go consecutive back-to-back wins, unfortunately for him. Ross Booth, as I say, won in GTD, and Antoine Takash won in GTD-AM. Ross Booth has been here for a very long time in this series and said it might not have ever happened before, but a great day for Canada 2 weeks ago as they won all 4 classes.
Fair play. Fair play. If that is right, and they've managed to take a clean sweep. Go Canada. You know what I mean? Come on, you got to give them credit, right? They don't win a lot else, do they?
Oh, very rude. If you watch the Winter Olympics, they certainly start winning then.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Apart from snowboarding and things that they should win, soccer or football, anything like that. Huh?
That's the last World Cup.
They're good at ice hockey.
Yeah.
There isn't many.
I'm good at driving as well, apparently.
Well, yeah, so, that's what I mean. That's why we got to give them props. Fair play. They're good at sim racing.
Yeah. Well, those 4 are anyway. You only need 4.
Is Lance Stroll Canadian?
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's not a great. That's not a great showing. Anyway, probably upset people there. Side by side in towards turn 3 for the lead in GCD-AM. Wolf really got knocked back before the traffic hit, but as the prototypes came through, he came forward, and now on the outside line in towards turn 4, he's not going to make it, but he's starting to get into the head of the Canadian just up in front of him. Antoine Takash is just having to look into his mirrors for the first time properly this evening. Yeah,
he's closed the gap right up, Josh Wolf, and how strong he's been over the last few rounds as well. He's really come on, and I think he is going to be challenging Takash. Now, the question for Wolf is, what is he going to do in the process? Is he going to sit back and have a go, maybe try and keep some fuel under his belt, or is he going to go and have a go at him? Best for me at the moment, if I was him, but Josh Wolf, I'd want to go at him. And the only reason I'd want to go at him is the GTP traffic is not anywhere near me at the moment. I would want to be going on him, going past him, and let him deal with that situation. They've got the LMP2s coming in the background. Carter Cunningham's going to be the first one coming through. But me, for Josh Wolf, clear him, let Takash deal with them first, and you just try and open up, because here comes the LMP2s now.
Yeah, there's only 4 of them though, and sorry, there is only 4 of them because of Richardson not being there, so it's not too big of a concern like it would be normally that the prototypes are coming through. It's actually a bit of a break from the battling, I think it will be, for the leader, as the lead in LMP2 is getting pretty close. Kundinger versus Tinsey down the straight. They will slipstream off of one another, and they'll stay together as well as they get through in towards turn 3. Did Tinsey get the Porsche? Oh, not really. Needs to get through into 4 and does now. He's lost a good chunk of time though. Just cost you so much time here at Belle, but you do also get stuck in traffic very easily. Look at Kundinger now. He's stuck behind the leading battle in GTD-AM, which I'll be concerned is going to be split apart actually by Tinsey, who's going to be stuck behind these guys at the fountain section, and this could be Kundinger receiving a relatively big lead now.
Yeah, I don't think Tinsey's pushed that. He didn't look like he was. He's not being I'm not saying that I want him to be this during multi-class and at Belle Isle, but he's not really pushing the aggressive nature of what we hear constantly between GTP and GTD and LMP2 drivers. You know, he's being quite sensible about it. The problem is why he's being sensible. Brandon Walker is in the background, starting to close in on him. So he's now got to look at the situation and think, maybe, yeah, he was close. He fair play, he was. But he's got to now look at the situation and get going just a little bit, because Brandon Walker's coming straight at him in the back.
Now that was worse than close for Wolf. That was a proper smack on the wall there. And as we've seen plenty of times down the years, it can either really damage you or you can get away with it mystically, and it looks like it's the latter. Wolf is even quite close in towards turn 3. He gets to within 2/10 before the braking zone, but decides not to go hit the brakes for the first time since he hit the wall by making a move. That would probably be unsensible, and so he decides to stay behind. But you can tell that the great drivers are rising to the top now in these classes. The top 2 in each getting close, and it's for GTD as well. Haley versus Wasilewski into the fountain section. Oh, and the Corvette just knew, Wasilewski just knew that he was going to be edged into the wall there, and Haley uses the big muscle of the Mustang to stay in front in the lead of GTD.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually managed to hold on. I thought that vet might have gotten through on him, but he didn't. And that, you know, we've got 2 American so-called muscle cars at the front ahead of the German Porsches behind them. But I didn't expect the fact of Wasilewski being that close, because I'm pretty sure he hasn't actually been that close for the whole entire opening 15 minutes or 12 laps. So I am quite shocked, but then maybe he's just had a good few laps. Traffic's been kind to him with the GTPs and LMP2s coming through, and has managed to hold up Haley more than they've held up him. So the gap has come down, and I think for Wasilewski, he's now just got to play it. He's in the same scenario as the Wolf Dakash kind of battle. What is he going to do? Is he going to use him to save fuel now? Is he going to try and go past him? Lots to think of, really, while you're trying to drive around here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed. It's a lot closer for the lead in GTD, and we're going to try and have both eyes on both battles. It's going to be quite difficult. I've just seen Hunter come into pit lane. Shane Hunter, as well as Mark Kudrowski. Both Kudrowski seems to be out the race entirely, but Shane Hunter was slowing. Yeah, he's been in the war somewhere. I thought he had, and this is him slowing down afterwards. Now then, what has happened here? This is him coming to pit lane. No, he's got the damage already. Oh, and he's just realised it there as he's gone past pit lane. Has he missed the entrance? Yeah, it looks like he did. I think he missed the entrance.
Yeah, that's Mark Kudrowski. Oh, he's already broke. He's obviously hit a wall. The problem is when they've hit a wall, I can't really show you the hit because it doesn't really come up and say they've hit the wall. And the only way I could really do it is take you back and do it this way. Not ideal, but where did he thump the wall? That's going to be the question.
He's already got damage by that point.
Already hit the wall.
Yeah, this could take a while. We will.
Yeah, you're like trying to find it.
Oh, down here.
There.
Yeah.
He clipped the corner, didn't he?
I thought it was going to be the LMP2 interrupting, but no, actually, it was completely on his own here. Misses the apex. Bang! That's why you see often everyone goes down the escape road instead, but it will give you the same result. You'll lose an awful lot of time, and I'm afraid Hunter will do. It looks like he's out the race.
Well, yeah, that was Mark Kudrowski, believe it or not. He's out the race as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah, of course.
But Hunter's done something. What did he do exactly? Because I can't quite work that one out.
No. Seems to. He's stuck in second here. I wonder whether his shifter's broken on his wheel. He seems to be stuck in second gear. Yeah. Look, he's not moving. He's not shifting anymore. I think this is a technical for Shane Hunter, who is stuck in second gear all of a sudden, and he's out the race.
Yeah, that's another one down. Unfortunately, we've lost 5. 1 before we even got going, 4 during the race.
Yeah, Pavlovsky unfortunately didn't get very far. Neither did Richardson. The GTs at least made it the first quarter of an hour, but I'm afraid they're out the race now as well. Although their class is also providing the entertainment, so we can't complain too much. There's Pat Pelchat in the background, still leading in the GTPs. But this is what I mean. The points results sheets are not showing this season to be as close as it realistically is. Pelchat is not as head and shoulders above the rest of the field, and especially Nathan Dowd, as the results are showing. 1.9 seconds. This is a good 20 minutes into the race. This is no fluke. This is pure race pace. Unfortunately, Dowd is going to be really held back by traffic here this time round. But, you know, he's sticking with Pelchat here. keeping him in sight, but and the result sheet would not have you believe that quite.
No, he's not now. He's just lost nearly two seconds. He's back out of 4 at the moment. Not really being aggressive for Nathan Dowd there, but then again, I'm probably to be fair to him, that's probably the right thing to be. Because even it seems, to be honest with you, even just trying to get to the end of this race is going to be tough, and it has been tough for the drivers at the bottom. We've lost 4 already, but I think for Nathan Dowd, knowing where you are and realistically thinking, can I catch Pat? If I can't catch Pat, I need to just be second. If I can try and stay close to him and see if he makes a mistake, I pick up the win. But if I can't, I've got to make sure I can get my own car to the end. And that's what he's got to think about. Realistically, is he going to catch Parfitt in the championship? Parfitt's been dominant all season. Is he really going to get him? That's a question for Nathan Dowd to ask himself.
He's also in Sector 5 racing with Bradley Haley and Joshua Wolf. So at the moment, they're having a very good day as a team. Second place, and first place in 3 different classes. So that's what he's got to think about as well. Got to do the bit for the team here, even if I can't catch Parfitt, who's not attached, by the way, to any of the championship contending teams. In fact, I haven't got him down as a team member of any of the teams competing for points anyway in this championship. So Dowd has got that to think about as well. And we'll, of course, later on in the season bring you updates on quite what each team needs to be champion of their respective, of the team's championship, I should say, because that will go down to the final race pretty much no matter what happens by the looks of things. Haley versus Wasilewski is the closest battle we've got going on at the circuit at the moment. Haley is, as to say, Dowd's teammate and needs these points. Haley hasn't been quite having as good of a season as Dowd has had comparatively. Haley is still 4th place though in the championship. A couple of second places to his name, and he's looking to go one better this time and get his first win of the season with Ryan Wasilewski, a new GTD driver, right in behind him. Don't forget he was a GTP driver up until now.
Yeah, changed over. We're going to resume this week on that one. I can confirm Shane Hunter lost all inputs from his wheel, couldn't shift, only had steering, no buttons were working. Very frustrating.
Wow. Well, he lost all inputs apart from the actual steering itself, but other than that, you can't get very far.
No, that's what he said.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah. He didn't have anything
inputs
else.
To me suggest that also when you input steering.
No, sorry.
But
he just said all inputs from the wheel. He had steering, but I'm going to presume he lost all buttons, shifting and everything. So, a little bit surprised that Tom Hammond's gone in so early. Sorry to cut you off there, but I was going into Tom Hammond's situation. 20 minutes in on 67% fuel.
He should be all right around here anyway. Because it's so slow speed, you're not burning fuel very quickly around here, so he should be fine to make it home. As for the tactics of that decision, well, that remains to play out, I suppose, later on, but it's an interesting tactical choice. You could understand if some of the GTPs wanted to come in right now, because they're in LMP2 traffic already. They're going to lap them twice by the looks of things. I wasn't expecting such a pace difference between those two classes today, but clearly there is one. Parfitt has lapped everybody up to 6th place now, and only Carter Cunningham to go. Well, the LMP2s are a lap down, and then soon after he'll be back on the end of the GTD AM line again.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling the GTD, well, GTDs in general are going to be laps. What do you reckon? 3? Where are they? That's twice.
4 or 5 times, probably.
Yeah, quite a few times. 4 or 5 times. You're right on that one. So, it is what it is, isn't it? This is where the toss-up almost goes. Well, would we want more cars, which could cause more chaos, or do we want this amount of cars, but they're going to get lapped 5 times?
Yeah, I think it's felt quite a nice number so far, actually. It's not felt overly crowded on the circuit, which it very easily can do around this circuit. And that has not happened so far today. Robert Cast is still going around with that rear wing. Clearly, the sim is giving him the downforce benefit of a rear wing, as he wouldn't be going this quickly You could understand through these corners maybe, but through turn 1 and 2 he's not got knocked off any of the speed, so he's certainly still got the downforce. That was Haley going quite wide in towards the braking zone of turn 7, and this has allowed Wasilewski to get even closer. It's allowed, more importantly, Ross Booth to get right into this as well.
Yeah, glad to notice he's been sneaking up on the back of these. He's been pulling little bits of time out as Ross Booth, and he's done a great job at the moment, pulling them in one by one. So there is Mr. Booth, and you can see over Wasilewski, he's been quicker on 11, 12 and 14, and also Wasilewski and Booth has been quicker again over 16. So 13, 15 and 16 he's pulled out, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths almost.
Yeah, this is going the right way for Booth at the moment. He is in this battle, although he's just a spectator for the moment, not really a participator. Haley and Wasilewski are a lot closer for the moment, but the Corvette hasn't been able to work its way round. I can't picture these two cars, to be honest, Corvette and Ford, going side by side around this circuit at any point. One's very wide and one's very big in all aspects, so this is going to be quite a squeeze if they do actually do it. It's going to come down to pit strategy slightly as well. Whoever comes out with the track position has got a great chance of winning this race as they go down on the brakes again. Haley made a bit of an error last time, but he bounces over the inside curve there at 7 this time, makes absolutely sure that he made the corner. And now Wasilewski will just try and close in again through the fountain section. And in the slower speed, the lower centre of gravity of that Corvette maybe just helping him a little bit as up ahead Cast pits in. Slightly puzzling, I've got to say, because I think the GTDs he's just lapped are going to have to be lapped again now for him, as Josh Wolf has lost a place to Miguel de Souza for second place, and they're side by side on the way towards turn 7. They are still side by side. Wow, how on earth de Souza even got alongside, I don't know.
No, they've done it a couple. Oh, hold on. So did he catch him? Yeah. Did Wolf make a mistake? Oh, he hit the wall.
Oh, he did.
He
Ow.
punched the wall.
He did.
He did.
So he went too deep on the brakes, couldn't slow it down in time. Oh, that's quite a nasty clonk on the wall there. And somehow de Souza lost the place immediately. So de Souza got all excited. 3 wide. Oh my goodness me. How they all got through there is a mystery, really. But that was great, respectful racing between them. Wolf immediately gets his place back because de Souza got too excited and went too deep into the next corner, and Wolf carries on. So that's 2 bits of damage on the wall that he's gotten away with here. His McLaren looks pretty battered, but it's still driving okay.
Yeah, because we've seen that before, and Kudrowski did it, and it's taken him out of the race. So Wolf is quite lucky currently. So fair play to him for carrying on. Haley, Wasilewski and Booth are back together. Sherborne and Dale Green have also come together on the racetrack. Brandon Walker is in pit lane, I believe, or he had a bit of a drama. Gone into pit lane. No, he hasn't gone in yet. Oh.
There's bumps again. And good avoidance there from one of the Porsches. Can't even get yourself turned around again. The turning circle's so bad on these cars. Yep. They will eventually manage it. Davis into the pit lane as well. Nicholas Davis has been in for well over a minute. So that is one of the GTDs who is dropping down as Wasilewski and Wolf now both make their way in as well. It is pit stop time. We're approaching half distance.
Yeah, Wasilewski's on his way out. Wolf's on his way in. Isering should clear Wolf this time around, but it will be how far up the road can he get away from that McLaren before he's got to go into pit lane. So the jiggles in the pit cycle is starting to happen. Wasilewski there in 3rd at the moment in the GTD Pros. He's got Chris Sherborne and Dale Green in between him.
Yeah, the fact he came out right behind Dale Green is not ideal. Could have done with clean air here as he tries to undercut the Ford Mustang at the front. He's got to get through into turn 7 here. He's got a decent exit. Oh, he got very close to the wall. He's got to use this run now. He's in the slipstream. He's got to take advantage here, and he's got to try and get Green to let him past here. Can he do that? Doesn't look like it. He's going to have to make a bold dive here. and he can't do it down into turn 7. This is costing him big time now. He's stuck behind an AM driver, and Wasilewski's undercut is going badly wrong here.
Yep, he's losing more and more time every time the corner goes on for Wasilewski, every time. And now he's got an LMP2 coming through as well, which they've got to be careful of. He's got to make this move. He just doesn't want to do it stupidly, because otherwise it could end up with both of them in the wall, and that is not good for either one of these races. But at the moment, he can't pull out because the LMP2 is... Oh my God.
That was so near to disaster, but we got away with it somehow. It was Brandon Walker coming through on the inside line. Green there he was very smart in hindsight. Very smart driving indeed. Just let the LMP2 through and then broke for the corner or indeed the pit lane and got away with it. That was remarkable driving from Dale Green, who is now in pit lane. This is how it happened. See, let's the LMP2 through on the right, brake, turn right, sharp right into the pit lane. Very well done.
I'm not sure that's the way I would have done that, but yes, fair play to him. He managed to make it work.
Made it work. Nobody died. Fine.
No, I suppose you are correct. Nobody did. No, I mean, it's sim racing after all. Let's hope they don't.
Well, that's true. I do feel, though, jokes aside, that Brian Wasilewski's pit strategy, bold strategy as it was, the damage has been done to it already. The lap he lost there with the undercut and the battle there, I think he will have lost in the seconds rather than in the tenths. And Haley's just going to run this out for a little bit longer. At the moment, he's making his way in towards turn 3, just with an LMP2 passing him. So he's going to run this tank dry, I think, or at least until he gets caught by Brandon Walker and indeed just behind him Parker as well, Andrew Parker. There's a lot of clean air between now and then. After that, Haley will come in, and I think it will show Haley still in the lead of GTD.
You really think so?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I just do, yeah. That was really damaging, I think, for Wasilewski. Not leaving the fact that it's a battle, but actually getting stuck through this kind of section here behind a driver who's actually quite a lot slower than you in terms of lap pace. That's really, really damaging for Wasilewski. I'm not sure he can gain that back again, but, could be proven wrong. We'll see.
And there's a Porsche weaving in the background. Most sensible thing. You got to remember, Haley's got to get it in the pit lane. He's got to get it stopped. So there is a big possibility that he might overshoot a pit box or speed in or something along them lines. And then it will bring Wasilewski straight back into this scenario. And I think this is the thing we've got to just keep an eye on, is all of these little bits. You would have thought that some of these drivers would have gone out and practiced pit lane exit and entry, because, really probably should. So I think overall, Haley knows where he's got to be, but he's got to get that car in, got to get it stopped, and he's got to make sure that he can at least not do anything crazy in the pit stops for this to work.
Yeah, I'm not really factoring in the fact he might make a mistake. I'm just saying, on normal speed, Wasilewski is not going to be able to overcome that, I don't think. But either way, we will see. He's clearly catching Miguel de Souza, but he shouldn't get there before the Porsche has to come into pit lane. And by the way, Dakash and de Souza still have yet to make their stops. Josh Wolf is out again. He's actually the leader of the GTD AMs who have stopped so far, which is good news for him, but doesn't really mean a whole lot for this stage in the race. At the moment, though, it looks like he is going to have his own championship lead on his own, if you like. He's sharing it at the moment with Ed Eisenring in GTD AM. Looks like he's going to get that on his own this time around. Let's see. Bradley Haley through the final couple of corners. He's probably got one more lap before he's overtaken any more by some LMP2, so he's going to carry on for at least one more. But then I think the traffic gets a bit thicker in terms of who's going to overtake him.
Yeah, I think then it's the decision time, isn't it? Make it get it stopped and have done with it, because he doesn't really want to afford to start coming out getting caught too much or being stuck coming out in traffic as well. Prospectively, he could come out in front of Ryan Wasilewski. He's on his way round the last couple of corners, turn 13, at the moment. He could come out just in front of him, but he's got to get this pit stop right. It's imperative for him to get these in laps, get these as quick as possible, as best as possible. We did a 1:28.8 last time out. Wasilewski on a 1:28.7, but not too far away from each other. But for Bradley Haley, he's got to just nail it.
Yep, he's got to push it, and I believe anyway, he's got to come in this lap, and that will surely secure his position. The one thing that will be holding him back, though, is the traffic that he would come out in afterwards. Wasilewski at the moment is embedded right within the middle of a GTD AM battle, and loads of prototypes coming through at the moment as well. So whether the traffic he's in right now, or is about to be in, is worse than what he would come out in, I'm not sure, but he's going to carry on for one more. Probably not the worst decision, although there will be a couple of LMP2s, at least one LMP2 anyway, coming past him this lap.
Yeah, but I think if he plays his cards right, with an LMP2, you can generally let it through at a sensible point. You know, it has got that overspeed, but yeah, in the corners, then it's not massively different. But I think as long as he can be sensible about this, that would be fine. Booth's very clever in the pit cycles, and if he's still going round, Haley's not making a bad decision at the moment because Booth is still going round with him.
Yeah, Booth is someone to factor in here. This is the kind of awkwardness I mean, by the way, through the middle of the circuit. Oh, Robert Caster's just got his rear end back on again. He smacked the wall out of turn 6 there, and that might have done him more damage than the crash earlier.
Yep, over the bump, bang, back he goes.
So weird, isn't it? Such weird behaviour from the cars through there.
But there's a bump there. Don't hit the bump.
I know, but they hit it sometimes, get away with it. And the way it bobbles is very abnormal. I wonder whether he's scraping some sort of curb there.
He's mounted that wall. There's a wall lip.
Yeah, the bit that's just protecting the, I think it must be some sort of pedestrian curb or something. In normal life, and maybe not. I don't know what I'm talking about again. But you know, it seemed to be bouncing his car up in a very weird way, and it was doing it to that LMP2 that spun round through there earlier on as well. Was it Tinsey maybe? It went around at turn 6. It bobbled up in a really weird way.
But that could be the fact that if they've hit a curb, right? You know, if you drive a car and you go and hit a curb, the car goes up in the air. They are theoretically hitting a curb, and they've got to try and not hit a curb. There's clearly no protection on that area, so they've got to make sure that they just don't, well, lightly curb.
Inspect it here on the inside. I think
it
looks like
an overlap.
Yeah, some sort of. The thing that's puzzling me is the fact that beyond that doesn't seem to be any sort of. Oh no, it is a. Yeah, look, there's a pavement alongside. So there you go. Or sidewalk, sorry, whatever. Yeah, it's a pavement. So that's what the curb's for, and yeah, that's what it's causing them to bobble up so weirdly. And Cast, unfortunately, is out the race as well, so that is a shame for him after only 35 minutes or so. So 3 at the front of the race in GTP, Pelchat, Dowd and Perez. And they are still yet to stop, still waiting for the ideal moment. I would have suggested that the ideal moment was a couple of laps ago, to be honest, because now Pat Pelchat is working his way through all the GT3 traffic, and he's going to have to do it all again when he pits in. But anyway, he carries on, as does Haley, still running this tank dry, hoping to use the light fuel load, and Dowd comes in meanwhile.
Yeah, I think Pat is just... He's got the pick of the time, hasn't he? He gets to dominate when and where and how and everything else, because he hasn't got to worry that much about the whole scenario. You know, he's out in front now. Dowd's in pit lane, so again for Pat, he can just carry on dawdling round, doing what he's doing, and taking clearly what looks like another victory. But for everybody else, it's always something to think about. Cunningham's not in a bad place. He's in quite a strong place in the LMP2s. He's 26 seconds ahead of Brandon Walker. So again, he's another man that can sit back and have a think. Do I really need to? Should I not? You know, blah. But for Bradley Haley, that's a little bit more difficult. And for Antoine de Cache, who's got Miguel de Sousa now. He's got to try and make sure that he can stay ahead of the likes of the first pit stoppers in the AMs, which is Josh Wolf. So the GTDs seem to have a lot more to think about than the LMP2 and the GTP at the moment at the front.
And speaking of GTPs, the leader is in. Pat Pochat makes his way into pit lane. I guess there just isn't any free track space anywhere at the moment, so they're just pitting when they want at this stage. There are GTs all over the place, and that doesn't really help you when you are the race leader. This is one of them. Haley continues on, and this is confirming that everyone who pitted when they started to pit can make it to the finish, because we've been going nearly 40 minutes now. They're just not burning very much fuel around here.
No, it doesn't seem it, does it? And they're only on 67, did it? Was it I said earlier on? So, yeah, 67%. So clearly the GTDs can go well in past the 40-minute mark to just see how much further they're going to be able to get. This is the thing. For these hour-long races, I wouldn't overly think my fuel strategy. But then again, I'm not a driver. So I would literally just get in the car, run it dry, come in, let Bill or Ben or whoever's on gas fill me up, or put in what I need and send me on my way again. So is there really strategy used in an hour-long race, do you think?
I think it's more in case of when you pit rather than what you do when you're there. It's not like strategy that you're having a long endurance race, that's for sure. But certainly in terms of when you pit, I think it's very important, especially as a prototype round here. You can find yourself in a lot of traffic, and that's exactly what's happened here. Nathan Dowd has pitted 1 or 2 laps earlier, got himself in clean air, and he's caught right up to Pochat. That's exactly the example I was hoping for. That's exactly how strategy matters in one of these races. Even though everyone's fuel fill is pretty much the same, you can tinker with it and make sure you get it right. And Nathan Dowd has gone 2 seconds shorter than Pochat. But more importantly than that, you can pick the right time with traffic. And Nathan Dowd has put himself in the conversation for this race win because of his strategy here.
Now, how's he going to put himself in the conversation for fuel here?
Yeah, he'll make it. I'm pretty confident about that. I think Pochat was probably on the bit conservative side, to be honest. Maybe it was a bit too safe.
Well, that's where the gap's gone, isn't it? That's where the gap's come from, the 2 seconds.
Half of it?
Yeah, half of it. And the other bit was obviously Pat hanging on too long to the car and not going into pit lane. But are we absolutely 100% sure that Dowd's going to get to the end?
Yep.
Okay.
to put it shortly, yes.
You're willing to put your parents' house on that?
I'm not betting anyone else's house on anything. But yes, I am very confident.
Okay.
On that, that's for sure.
Well,
we're just under 20 minutes. Yeah, we'll see what. Well, yeah, we will see what Perez does in the pit lane as well. By the way, in terms of that, if Perez all of a sudden does a 19-second stop or something, even after going this long, then I might start to get a bit concerned. But for the moment, I think Dowd will be fine. I think as he scrapes the wall, I think we're forgetting just how much fuel you can save when you're stuck behind traffic as a GTP here. You know, you spend corner after corner sometimes stuck behind a GT with nowhere to go. You're barely touching the throttle at some stages, so the amount of fuel you can save surely is quite a lot. Meanwhile, out of the pit lane for Bradley Haley here in a few moments' time. We are still yet to see the leaders in GTD and pit, but Bradley Haley is in. Now, is he going to be ahead of Wasilewski or not? There's the Corvette. Haley's still not moving. Now he is on the pit lane. He's got quite a long way to trundle, though. Now he's going to be out of the pit lane in the lead, surely. There he is, out of the pit limiter. Where is Wasilewski? Cameraman's going to be getting dizzy. Here we go, in towards turn 2. He's fine, and he's through is Haley. Look at the gap as well. Nearly 3 seconds. I thought that it would cost him. And Wasilewski has seen his gap balloon here. Ross Booth is going to be in second place for sure.
As long as Booth's plan is right, he will slot right in between that 3-second gap that these guys have got. I still think Haley's got enough to be out in front, but it's Booth nailing his pit stop to slot right between the two. That's what I feel is going to happen, and then we could be on for a nice, good scrap, because then Wasilewski's getting a draft off Booth. Booth's pulling him into Haley. Ooh, ETD Pro's not done just yet.
No.
Well, we're going to find out.
Very
he's
interesting. Yeah, let's see what. Let's find out with Booth in the pit lane. Wasilewski's stop was a second longer, by the way, but not as much as the gap is now. So I think a lot of that did come down to the traffic he found himself in. Unfortunately, these are the risks you take with an early pit stop. I'm afraid sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. This time wrong, I'm afraid, for the Corvette, as Ross Booth makes his stop, and now he's on his way again in the Porsche. Dakash and De Souza in the background. The other Porsches will be coming out soon as well, but let's see this rejoin first. No sign of Haley yet. Hold on a second. Ross Booth is right in this race now, and he might have made the jump. He has done. The Ford Mustang out there with a lap earlier pit stop has surely taken too long in the pit lane. 12.7 seconds in the box for Booth. Haley did 15.2. Booth must have been saving in those first 40 minutes, and now he's used all of that saviour to get himself in the lead of this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think you are right. Booth has saved an absolute truckload and has managed to get out in front. We said about him slotting in between Haley and Wasilewski, but he did better than that. He sat there and was proved us all wrong, and has gone, well, I'm going to in fact do this, and he's gone and done it and jumped to both of them. So fair play to Ross Booth, absolute fair play.
Dakash has come out about 4 seconds ahead of De Souza, who is ahead of Joshua Wolf. So Joshua Wolf has lost a lot of time in this pit stop phase, and that is due to a very early pit stop from him as well. Chris Sherburne's still yet to come in, and you'd expect him to drop behind all of those three who should be on the podium, but Wolf was challenging for a race win earlier on today with Ed Eisenring further down the field and clearly struggling at this circuit. He's not going to be gaining anywhere near as many points as he would hope on his main championship rival.
He did a longer pit stop than people who pitted 11 laps in front of him. He was 1.5 seconds slower in pit stop than Miguel de Souza. Miguel did 13.3 and he pitted on lap 29. Wolf did 14.8 and pitted on lap 18.
I think actually these pit stop times, other than the one between Haley and Booth, which is the biggest gap of anyone, Booth's pit stop is extraordinarily short, but in the other ones I think the pit lane times are actually a secondary part to the story. I think most of the story is down to the track position, down to who you were around at the time, how much clear air you were in. I think Wolf has clearly, well, we've not been watching him, has been in loads of dirty air, trying to get past loads of drivers he wouldn't have otherwise had to get past, because there's no, well, yes, his pit stop was a bit slower. It wasn't 8 seconds slower.
No, it wasn't at all, to be completely honest. I think he's just been caught up in certain aspects, hasn't he? Certain battles, because even De Souza managed to get a hold of him and jump him at the same time. So for Wolf, he clearly has been in the battle, should we say. Adolfo Perez, what?
He's destined for a podium if he can just keep it on the road here. Bit too quick into turn 4. Has to get past one of the Acuras.
Gonna miss that.
And overshoots it. Oh, straight on.
Just silly.
Yeah, ideally you want to wait really through that section, but I guess he's, well, they're all in a hurry. So, fortunately, he goes straight on, but he should, as I say, still be finishing in 3rd place. Pelchat has shown his speed once again here. 3.5 seconds is his lead, despite being under pressure from Dowd earlier, but it's another warning shot. I think that this championship's not over by any means, and I know Pat is a very focused driver. He will not think this is championship is won by any means until he's crossed the line at Road Atlanta, as much as we're talking about when he can seal this and how close he is, even into how likely he is to win this title. He won't feel any of that at all. He will be still pushing 100%. This is another display of that he does have another gear to kick onto when he's put under pressure, and he really has been put under pressure from Nathan Dowd today.
Oh, he was nearly put under pressure from Wasilewski then as well. Corvette got a little bit squirrely, and that caused Pelchat to have to get a little bit squirrely to get away from him. So I just think that reminds... He reminds me of this driver that would be very calm and cool, collective. But then when you upset him or get near him, he just all of a sudden puts it down into 6th and flies off and leaves you. You know, and this is what he's done to Nathan Dowd. Dowd come out right, you know, they come out literally nose to tail, and Pelchat's just kicked on 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
You can't say words for people like that who have got that ability just to start upping their pace all of a sudden on you. You know, Pelchat gave it half a lap for his tyres to go back up to temperature, and then he just floored it, and then he just pulled away. And I think away to the win here with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Dowd gained 7 points when these second drop weeks were applied, by the way, so the gap would only be 25, which, as I say, is a race win. So this is absolutely not over, but this is a great showing from Pelchat that, as you say, he can come under pressure, sustain that pressure and kick on again. And he looks like he's going to hold out for the win, although there's still a long way to go in the context of this race. More than 10 minutes remaining here at the Belle circuit in Detroit. Further behind, Ross Booth is being caught 1.9 seconds to Haley, who is now in a bit of clean air. There'll be some LMP2s to come past. The GTPs might have one more trip past them as well. But other than that, it's clear road, and Haley is still looking very quick.
Yeah, he is in that Mustang. So odd, because he really shouldn't be quick in that Mustang at this circuit, but he is making it work, and he's doing a great job with it, and fair play to him. Go, Brad, you know, kick on there, son, and try and have a go and get near that Porsche, because I think at the moment he's looking very, very quick, and it looks like one man that is not going very quickly is Antoine Decache.
He was leading in GTD Am.
Mr. Corner.
So what's going on here?
Mr. Corner.
Oh, he's broken too late. You can see it immediately. Oh, he's just got away with it. Oh, you lucky boy. And he just pulls out the way of an LMP2 as well. That will about half the gap to Miguel de Souza, who is closing. Look at that. It's less than a second, in fact. It's way more than halved it. Takas is under huge pressure. And have a look at where he breaks down here. Down at turn 3, next time round. How committed is he going to be? Is he going to get straight back on it again? Or is he going to just go a bit early? Look how he monsters the curb on the inside. He probably broke at 10 metres or so earlier than he did last time round. But he gets away with it. 9 minutes to go. He's under pressure here from Miguel de Souza.
Yeah, de Souza's closed right in. That one simple mistake, and it happens, and it can happen to anybody. But I think you'll find for Decache now, he's going to want to take it a little bit more carefully than he did before. He's not going to be wanting to meaty that corner. As you say, he probably braked about 10 metres early just to make sure, because he did end up riding that complete curb. So for Decache, he's got to think about what he's doing now, because de Souza is coming at him. He's down to 8, well below a second.
Yeah, and don't forget, de Souza started 9th in this class. He started last, dead last in this class, and he is suddenly fighting for the win. Can he go from the very last position on the grid to end up winning? What an extraordinary story that would be. But my slight concern for him is the A, difficulty in overtaking, and B, the time remaining. Just over 8 minutes for him to work out how to do this.
Yeah, and C, they're in Porsches. So, as we all know, Porsches can do pretty much anything they want at certain points. So they've got to make sure they can get that car, be very, very, very sure that that car is going to do what they want it to do, especially, at a tough circuit like this.
Well, more to the point as well, they're driving the same car.
Yeah.
There's no manufactured difference. There's no advantage in straight line speed that you might get from a McLaren when you're up against a Porsche, for example, or a Ford against a Porsche. There's none of that here. It is completely what these drivers can get out of these machines rather than what the machines are giving to them. Down on the back straight they come again, and he's right there. De Souza is only half a second behind. Further behind him, if you're looking for traffic to interrupt, there will be some. Pat Pelchat and Nathan Dowd will lap these guys one more time before the race is over, and Carter Kundinger will pass them as well. I'm not sure any others will get there. In fact, I'm not even that sure Kundinger will quite get there, but it's going to be quite close. We will see, but there's not much traffic to interrupt these two.
No, it is literally a straight dogfight between de Souza and Decache, and there's nothing there going to prevent them. Go at it, boys. Go and see who's got the better one and see who's the stronger driver, because at the moment, de Souza's closing in on him, and Decache is looking a little bit more wary than he was before. he's looking a little bit more careful. It's like he's almost had the stuffing taken out of him from that last incident, you know, and he does look a little bit more tentative, the word I'm looking for.
Well, I suppose he would be after that. Now, let's see how he breaks down here at turn 3. That seemed to be back on it again, although de Sousa's flying into that turn. Maybe that's somewhere he can use to take advantage. This is big pressure stuff between these two. Battle for the win in the GTD AM field. Antoine Decas only joined us for the first time at Mugello, but he made quite a splash in this championship, winning his opening race in this season. He came back as well at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve to win after missing Road America the first round of 2025. He's looking for his 3rd win in 3 appearances in season 14, and this is Pat Pelchat, who can't really afford this. Down the inside of de Sousa, he's going to, dive between the two of them. Classic Pat Pelchat there. He just did not wait at all, and nor did he need to. In the end, he dices his way through, and he's left these two alone now to battle over it again. I think, if anything, Decas lost a tiny bit, but barely anything, really.
Yeah, he lost about a 10th between that little confrontation with Pat, to be honest with you. Again, as you say, minor in comparison, but now, you've got to handle the pressure. You've got to handle the pressure, and that's going to cost him a little bit more.
Huge! That was huge! And here comes de Sousa, surely! Oh, he's not really got a very good run. That was a golden chance for Miguel de Sousa. An absolutely golden chance, and he's not going to get a better one than that. He's got to manufacture a move of his own now. He's never going to get an opportunity presented to him like that. And I'm afraid he just didn't get the run-off of turn 2 he needed. Antoine Decas did not want Dowd to go down his inside there. Dowd said, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm chasing for a win here as well, you know. And in the end, Decas was on a horrible line. He gets away with it. Again, he goes wide. He goes wide through turn 6. And here comes de Sousa again on the back straight. But his exits just aren't good enough at the moment. He needs to get the power down earlier and get some better runs onto these straights, because there are overtaking chances around this circuit if you try and grab them.
Yeah, that's the thing with Decas. He's got to get his mind back in the game. He's got 4 minutes to wait, and he looks like he's all just been a little bit thrown out since he went into the wall, or nearly went into the wall. Yes, he's going to be. We are aware of this, but at the same time, you can't afford to be, because you're right. For de Sousa, that opportunity there was golden, and he didn't be able to take it. There is no difference in car. There's no difference in speed. It is all driver, and de Sousa needs that killer instinct. He needs to know that if Decas is going to make another error, I've got to be there, and I've got to make sure I put him under pressure. JK, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. What a move, he said, after we watched Pelchat weed through the 2.
Yeah, absolutely it was. What a great battle we're having here as well. What a finish to the race here at Belle. That was a half chance as well if he wanted to take it. de Sousa tentative at the moment, very tentative, because of where Pat Pelchat crossed the line, by the way. They might have 4 to go, which is the worst possible news that Antoine Decas could have heard, but he might have 4 left here, and that is a nightmare situation. Kundiger's not going to be a factor here. He's caught up just about at the right moment. He's going to grab them both on the back straight. If anything, he's going to slow in front of Decas, which is going to be bad news, but it's not going to be an overtaking chance for Miguel de Sousa. He doesn't want him diving down the inside, does Decas, and you can absolutely see why. Oh, he's gone off.
He's gone on.
Oh, the leader. Thankfully, Kundiger's got 25 seconds, but he'll have to do that overtake again.
Yeah, and this time he's not in such a comfortable place, is he, at the moment? Going around the fountain, he's going to go around the end here, turn right, and Cunningham's now got to go once more. I think Cunningham missed his own breaking point trying to get past these guys and pull in front of them, and unfortunately completely missed it. So Decas, he thought he got rid of him, but now Cunningham's got to come back through on him. So for Decas, this is probably his worst scenario, and you can see Cunningham coming in the rear cam there on his dash.
Yeah, well done Cunningham, though, for waiting before the final 2 corners to do it there on the straight, where he could be as little effect on that battle as possible. He knew what was going on here. He knows what's for stake. Knows what's for stake. He's not having dinner. He knows what's at stake, rather, for the AM lead, and he did very well there, using his gap. It has come down by 4 seconds, but he just utilised some of his gap there to make sure this remains a fair fight between these two, and hats off to him for that. Pat Pelchat's just coming towards the final corners right now. He's going to get the 2 laps to go sign, if there is one, and so that means these guys have got about 2.5 to go, unless they're lapped again by Pelchat, which I can't really see happening, but the extra lap might get some more prototypes to overtake them on the very last lap. Let's see, as De Souza again gets close on the way down towards turn 7. It's only a half chance down here, and again he's not close enough.
No, he's not, but with Dakash, who looks a little bit wary, but De Souza, that would be the corner I would put him under pressure on. I would literally put him under, yeah, I know, I saw that as well. De Souza nearly thumped the wall. I would literally put Dakash under pressure in that corner, knowing just how tentative and how wary he would be. I would be jiggling around all over the place. I tell you, I'd be like a belly dancer at a festival, and I would just literally be moving that car all around, trying to put him off, because I think at the end of the day, but Dakash now, that is where he is the weakest. So for De Souza, get on it, son. Start moving that car around behind him going into that turn.
Here we go, turn 1 and 2. Penultimate time, by the way, for these guys. He's got to take advantage of one of these now. He's very close, but he's been very close lap after lap here. He's got to give it a go one of these times. Otherwise, he'll just die wondering in this race. He's got to give it a go. He's got to make the dive, and he's not doing it at the moment. He's waiting for his moment to strike, and I'm afraid he might well just miss the moment here, because so far he's offered very little challenge to this race lead.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, you must go now. You must go. Oh. He's made a mistake. You've got to go. Oh my God, how did you not go?
Well, he half went for it, I suppose, down the inside, but that's even lost him time. So De Souza here is rather throwing away a chance at a race win. If this race carries on another lap, and it will do, he will be lapped again by a couple of prototypes who are fighting for second. Tinsey and Walker are not far behind these guys, and that could really interrupt the fight on the last lap.
Yeah, they're fighting for second place. We'll see if they can get through. Pelchat is on the final lap. These guys should get one more, and they should be able to fight it out. But how De Souza did not get that overtake done is beyond me. That Dakash's Porsche was sideways, practically. I don't get how he didn't make it through.
Both at the fence at the final corner. They're giving it absolutely everything now as they get the white flag. One more time to go, even though time's expired. Dakash is going to be pretty unhappy about that, but that's the way that the rules go. And so he's got to defend one more time.
Oh,
here come the LMP2s as well. Tinsey's got in the wall in the background. Walker's going to go through, but how does he get through on these two who are battling for the lead in GTDM? De Souza looks to the inside. Finally, he goes for it. Finally, he's going for the win. He's gone. He spun at turn 3. He finally gave it a go. And unfortunately for Miguel De Souza, it's ended in catastrophe. Antoine Dakash is going to hold on out front. Meanwhile, Pat Pelchat has crossed the line. Apologies for missing it while we were watching the battle. Pat Pelchat has won this race. Let's see what's happened in the battle for the lead in GTDM with the replay.
Yeah, he goes out. He pulls in front of Tinsey. Oh, he mounted the curb all on his Todd.
Yeah, he wasn't hit.
Oh, well done, Pat, by the way. Sorry.
Sorry for missing the moment. But Pat Pelchat has won here at Detroit. Kundinger has won as well in LMP2 by a big margin in the end. And Ross Boover's hung on too in GTD by 2 seconds. What a great strategy from him. He did make it on field pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and then Dakash is going to come over and survive. This was partly all De Souza's fault because he hit the curb on the inside just there, bounced that Porsche. Fair play to Robert Tinsey though, because if you all of a sudden had what he had with this car, watch the Porsches pull out in front of him. Ooh.
Yeah. Although to be fair, it's probably smart from Tinsey not to dive down the inside and make it 4 wide anyway, but yes. It was good driving from all of them. Dakash comes over the line. He takes the win. De Souza already hang on by 4/10 of a second, by the way, over Joshua Wolf, who finished just in behind him as well. What a great race that was here on the streets of Detroit. Belle delivers here in the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge as we visit for only the 3rd time in the series history, and the first time after a season off 1 season ago.
I've got to say one other thing.
Sorry, go on.
Just really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But it's a Canadian 3 out of 4 for the classes again.
Having a very good season, the Canadians.
I know they are. They are.
There is no Canadian in LMP2, so they've done they've done the best they could.
Yeah, they have. Let me get back like that to overall.
In this race. Well, it doesn't really matter, but we'll go for overall. Oh, maybe not.
No, we won't, because this is broken. Kick it. Hit it with a hammer. There we go.
There we go. He's hit it with a hammer, and it's worked. Pat Pochat takes the win ahead of Nathan Down and Duffer Perez, joining him on the podium after a good chase between those two leaders at the very end. Carter Cunningham held on by quite some time, actually, over Brandon Walker, who passed Robert Tinsley on the last lap to finish second at a third. Then Andrew Parker in fourth. Ross Booth hangs on for the win in GTD by 2 seconds over Bradley Haley, with Ryan Wasilewski in third. And it's Antoine Dakash who hangs on the last lap ahead of Miguel de Souza, who finishes second, and Joshua Wolf, who's just about in third. Chris Sherman, Daryl Green and Tom Hammond between he and Ed Eisenring, who loses points in the GTD Championship battle today, along with the retirees, 6 of them, I think, today. Nicholas Davis was the first of them in 18th place. We also saw off the road Robert Cast, Shane Hunter, Mark Kudrowski, Caden Richardson, Trevor Vavrowski, and I don't think Dominic Dernenberg ever started the race. So that is a shame for him. Let's have a chat to the GTD winner. There's only one place to start here tonight, and it's with Antoine Dakash, who joins us now. Antoine, congratulations on the victory. Thanks for joining us. There's only one place to start. Tell us about that last lap battle.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Another great battle. Miguel started the back and climbed all the way up, and it was pressuring me. Couldn't believe it. Great respectful racing. I think he missed his brake marker leading up to the right-hander T2, but we kept it clean. Unfortunately, he spun out, and I was able to take it to victory. What an intense race.
Yeah, very intense race, and thoroughly enjoyable to watch as well. But I want to know what you were thinking when you very nearly went straight on at turn 1. We saw your moment there where you almost came to a complete stop, and it allowed De Souza effectively to get into a battle with you. What were you thinking at that point, which you'd made that mistake?
Don't make the mistake. And I ended up making the mistake. That's how it goes, right? You get in your own head sometimes. Just had to keep driving, focus on it, and kind of snap myself back into it.
It's very difficult to do. So fair play to you. What's your plan for the rest of the season, by the way? You've only made your first appearance at round 6. It's just the plan to just come and win some more races?
I mean, I'm like, it was great. I think Wolf started out in front of me. I think his name was Wolf with the McLaren. He unfortunately hit a wall. It looked like some great racing. I know Mick's got the pace, Ed's got the pace, Wolf's got the pace. I think it's going to be some great racing for the rest of the season for sure.
Well, thanks very much for coming to chat to us again, Antoine. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yes, big thanks to Miggy and his wife, because she picked up my kids so I can be here. So thank you, JJ. Really appreciate it. And thanks to the Composite crew, like usual. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, Antoine. Congratulations on the win, and thanks for chatting to us.
Take care. Have a good one.
Thanks very much, Antoine Dakash there, the winner in GTD. Ross Booth wins in GTD by 2 seconds and joins us now as well. Congratulations, Ross, on another win. I want to get to the bottom of something first. Your pit stop, you probably don't know the numbers on this. Your pit stop was 12.7 seconds long. Bradley Haley's was 15.2 and Ryan Wasilewski's was 16.5. How on earth did you, I'm presuming, save that much fuel?
Yeah, I don't know. Riding in third there for all those laps up to the pit stop, they might have been just really, really pushing. I was taking it easy, trying to work up to getting some pace, struggling in practice before the race. So just being really cautious with the throttle and lift coasting into all the brake zones, and I was also really aggressive on my fuel because I knew how important it is to be the lead car, especially after the pit stop. So really was tight on the fuel number exiting the pit, and thankfully they weren't.
Oh, well, yeah. You managed to get, 20 to 25% less fuel in during the stop. Remarkable, really. But what do you think... well, first of all, what did you expect when you came out the pit lane in terms of where you would be and how close Bradley Haley would be? And second of all, what do you think was going to happen had you two actually had to fight it out for the win? The Mustang being behind you, was that going to be difficult to hold off?
I think this track position, if I was leading coming out of the pits, probably would be able to hold them off, just because I would have to make a really big mistake somewhere to be passed here. It's so tight. you don't really get a good run off any of these corners or can set somebody up. So I feel like if you're the lead car, you got a pretty good shot. But I was really expecting to be door to door with Haley in turn 2, but thankfully we were able to be well clear and sort of just logged laps after the pit stop.
Well, congratulations on getting the strategy worked out and winning again. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just big shout out to Composite Performance as always. We have a lot of cars in this league, and it's great to see everyone doing so well. Big shout out to our sponsors, SimLab, Grid Engineering, TAM Liveries, and P1 Docs. And shout out to you guys. I always love watching the broadcast back, so thank you very, very much.
Thanks very much. I'm surprised you're not shouting out your fellow Canadians who've won 3 out of 4 classes again tonight, by the way. Just to go on from your thing from 2 weeks ago. Did we get to the bottom of whether that's ever happened before, by the way?
I don't think I probably has never happened before. I've been on Autobahn for a long time. I would I would bet that's a first. So I was quite surprised when I looked at it and I was like, oh, there you go. So, but no, congrats to all the winners tonight. And we'll see everybody at COTA.
We certainly will. I'll see you in 2 weeks, Ross. Thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ross Booth, there in GTD at Victory Circle, as it were. Carter Kundiger will also come to have a chat with us as well. Congratulations, Carter, on the win in LMP2 tonight, extending your championship lead once again. The gap was fairly large by the end, but it was a close race to begin with. How did you find the evening at Belle today?
Yeah, no, I mean it was good. I felt good going into this race. Street circuits are one of my strong suits, and I've been looking forward to this race for a while now. It definitely got a bit hairy at the start, and I thought I was just about done there, coming out of turn 4 and seeing a sideways Robert Cass, but we managed to sneak away. Just kind of got a little bit of a 4x from him, which was unfortunate. I couldn't get the additional 2 bonus points tonight, but overall, I think it was I just kind of kept my fenders out of the wall, kept my nose out of people, and that's really all I need to do tonight.
Ooh,
Can I
jump in and say you only
yeah.
just kept your nose out the wall, Cunningham, towards the last end of the race?
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of cooked it into the one corner. I got really distracted by watching Miguel and Antoine having a great battle, and I was like, oh, there's a corner here, and I cooked it. I'm sure you probably saw that.
Yes,
as soon as I did it, I was like, well, I guess I'm just here for the good old broadcast time right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, we were enjoying the battle as well, so you certainly weren't on your own there. That's for sure. What about the rest of the season? Still, 4 rounds to go after this one. Now, Circuit of the Americas coming up next. How are you feeling about the rest of the season and your growing margin, now it has to be said, over Robert Tinsley in the championship?
Yeah, no, it looks good. There's a good mix of tracks that I think I'd be pretty good at. I unfortunately won't be here at COTA. I have some other racing duties that I need to go attend, so I won't be at COTA. But Sebring, Mosport, and Road Atlanta. Some of those tracks are going to be. You're going to have a lot of really good racing at some of those. So definitely looking forward to closing out the season here. I think we've got a good schedule in front of us. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we look forward to having you back anyway. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Composite Performance, all the boys there, our sponsors, Grid, SimLab, TAM Liveries, and then P1 Docs, our main sponsor, who helped me out with a good baseline set today. Thankfully, they've been on top of their setup game and released Long Beach sets today, so I was able to work off of something they just made for that, since this would be the first time since the update. The LMP2 went to a street circuit, so kind of was in the dark doing some setup work there up until today. But and then shout out to all the guys, all the guys who come out to every single race. We appreciate them. I mean, it's not. I won't say it's an ideal number of cars that I would have liked before the season. But you have those handful of guys who are fully committed, and huge shout out to those guys who come out. Whether they're winning races every time or they're just here having a blast.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for coming to have a chat with us, Carter. Congratulations on the win. We look forward to seeing you again in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Thanks very much, Carter Koenig, the winner in LMP2 tonight. Well, that's just about it for us here today. Pat Poshat's not coming for a chat with us, it looks like, so we'll be signing off here in a few moments' time. But I thoroughly enjoyed that. I've got to say, I'm about to say best race of the season so far. I'm not sure if I'm quite going to go out on a limb like that, but probably. I mean, it was a very, very good race indeed. Thoroughly enjoyed that battle towards the end between Miguel de Souza and Antoine Decache, especially for GTDM. Hopefully, if he watches this back, he doesn't feel like we were being too harsh on him in terms of him trying to make that move at the end. But we were really willing him on to at least make a race of it, and they certainly did.
Yeah, they definitely did. I do want to give Downforce Gaming a shout out. It's just donated $75 the channel, which is amazing. We never asked for donations, so thank you very much for that one. No, I don't think best race of the season. Not yet. I think we've got a couple of stunning tracks coming up, mind you, that I love, you hate, but then again, I hate Kota, so balance itself out, doesn't it? Really, but I think it's been good, and I think it's really going to mix up this championship even more now. So I think this could be a really good one.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be back again in 2 weeks' time for that race at Circuit of the Americas, and we'll have a discussion about whether it's a good circuit or not when we get there in 2 weeks' time. So that's fine. But for now, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 3K, so be nice to get there sometime. So big thanks to everyone who has already, and we'll be back with plenty more racing between now and then. But in the meantime, we will be back with the Circuit of the Americas round of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge here for Season 14 as the championship comes to a close here on the 7th of April. All live here on this channel, of course. We'll be live just before 9:30 Eastern Time with the next round of this championship. I've been Ewan along with Judge Parfitt, until we see you in 2 weeks in Texas. It's goodbye for now.